Hello everyone, I'm back, and today I'm here to maximize your fear. So far, 2024 has been a year filled with many strange things caught on trail cams. From weird unidentified creatures to killers and to many other unexplainable phenomena. So today I decided to highlight some of the most chilling and downright horrifying creatures caught on trail cameras this year. So grab your maximum fear coffee mugs and allow your fear to be maximized as we recap the scariest trail camera clips of 2024. Mega Compilation. This horrifying, never-before-seen trail cam capture was taken on January 9th, 2024. According to James G., the uploader, the photo was taken deep in the woods by a spy point trail camera mounted to a tree. Here's the photo that was taken just after the motion sensor was triggered. In the background, a glowing-eyed humanoid creature is spotted. It has a pale white body with long skinny arms. And because the photo quality of this particular trail cam is rather poor, we can't exactly make out any facial features besides its glowing eyes, of course. But if we look closely, we can almost make out a mouth towards the bottom of the face. But the most disturbing thing about this picture is the trees show that the ground is quite far down. So either this creature is estimated at a whopping 12 feet tall, or it's floating in the air. Either way, it's clear to us that this is not a creature of this world. Some suspect a skinwalker or some sort of evil spirit that's lurking in the depths of the woods. So what do you guys think? Definitely a shocking and unexplainable trail cam photo. On January 28th, 2024, an ominous piece of footage would surface. It was never made clear where exactly this took place, but a family was reportedly fishing somewhere in a remote forest. As they fished for a while, they began to get an unfamiliar feeling, a feeling as if they were being watched from somewhere. They tried to shake off the feeling, but they couldn't, until they finally spotted something unknown blending into the trees on the other side of the riverbank. At first, it doesn't really look like much, until it begins to morph and take the form of a human. The dark black shadow moves around slightly until it ultimately disappears. But if you look closely, you can still slightly see the outline of it after it disappears, showing us it's still there. Whatever this being is, it's able to shapeshift and camouflage itself into the trees without being seen. So this must have been what was watching them the whole time. It just didn't reveal itself until later. This is just a truly disturbing thing to think about. The fact that there really could be dangerous, unknown creatures that blend in with their surroundings and stalk you, easily remaining hidden. The scary thing is, many people around the world have reported this same unshakable, being stalked or being watched feeling while in the woods. The same exact feeling that the family reported in this instance. Could it be that these spirits or beings roam the forests, and we can't necessarily see them with our eyes, but our built-in survival instincts can detect them? A man named Stacy Brown Jr., a well-renowned cryptid enthusiast and film director, released some truly unsettling evidence taken by a trail camera. Once again, the trail camera that took this photo was a picture-taking trail cam that snaps pictures when the motion and heat requirements are met. With that being said, here is the photo. Cryptozoologists are adamant that this is a real Bigfoot caught on camera. Zooming in and looking closer, the strange creature does look monkey-like, but something seems off about its face. And latched onto it is what's said to be a baby Sasquatch. The motion blur on the baby tells us that it was something alive because it was moving around. However, despite the label of a Bigfoot photo, some speculate that it could have been an escaped monkey from a nearby zoo or something. But why does its face look like that? Could it just be a deformed or injured monkey? If so, how did it get here in the first place, as this area does not inhabit any monkeys? It looks like we'll never know truly, but what do you guys think? Is it just a very deformed monkey, or is this really a Bigfoot or some other cryptid creature? The following horrifying trail cam video was released on April 2nd, 2024. The caption reads, "The trail camera was set up to face the river in Namor Ong, after many locals said they saw spirits in the water. Also, according to the uploader, the river has a chilling history. Over time, many have lost their lives in and around the river. And this is why it's believed to be haunted." Anyways, here is what the trail camera right on the shore captured. Some sort of creatures slightly emerge their heads from beneath the water. At some points, we can even see the eyes on the creatures reflect. They just slowly swim around with their long straggly hair covering most of their face and head. And their pale white skin is slightly seen beneath. What could these beings possibly be? Most hypothesize, since the river has a dark past, that these are paranormal manifestations of the lives lost. Or a scarier thought, these creatures could actually be responsible for all of the disappearances and deaths. Perhaps the land is cursed and these are skinwalkers, or possibly even other evil entities that prey upon humans. What they truly are, we may never know, but it's probably best it stays that way. A man lives on a heavily wooded property. He is completely surrounded by trees on every side. Having a house like this in a remote environment can be quite tranquil, but other times it can be the exact opposite, and the night in question was just that. He was sitting outside on his balcony when suddenly a pair of glowing eyes appear from behind a tree.
The f is that in the woods? Hello? Hello?
It just stands there stationary, not moving a muscle, just peering at the man on the balcony. Petrified, the man repeats, "Hello, what the F is that in the woods?" And I think we all have the same question. People are trying to answer this question by coming up with theories. The most prevalent being a dogman, a half-dog, half-man creature that resides in the deep woods. The cryptid creature hunts at night, and it aims to terrorize and stalk humans. Common characteristics of this creature include its red glowing eyes, just like the creature in this video. Also, if you look closely at the footage, you can almost see a pair of pointy ears pointing up from the top of its head. Or they could be horns. And you can also see an elongated snout of a dog. But because it's so dark, it's not easy to see, so some don't see it at all. But others have no idea what to make of this footage, especially the man who filmed it, who is still deeply disturbed. Coming from Seafaring Souls on March 19th, this video is taking the internet by storm. A man was out scuba diving in remote Australia when he caught something unexplainable on his camera. First, it seems normal as he swims around and videos the fish and aquatic wildlife. But what happens next caught everybody by surprise. What looks like a mermaid swims by. Now it looks super realistic. It's dark and it seems shiny as it reflects the sunlight from above. Also, aquatic wildlife specialists from various prestigious universities have taken looks at this footage, and they've deeply investigated it. And every single one of them says they believe the footage is real, unedited, and not a person wearing a costume. A man named Peter Kane, a so-called mermaid enthusiast, also analyzed the footage and stated that you can tell it's a real mermaid because of the shape of the tail and the way the tail moves in the water. Considering the footage has not yet been debunked by scientists, this is why it's so convincing. I mean, when I first saw the footage, I thought, nah, this could definitely be fake. But you can see it does look pretty real, and if universities and scientists can't debunk it and say it's real, then hey, it must be. This video comes from a solo hiker deep in the woods. An exact location wasn't listed, but we know he was somewhere in the US. He was walking along the forested path when he looked over and something caught his eye moving within the brush. And when he really looked closer and got to see what it was, he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Seen crouched down, attempting to blend in, is what looks like a Sasquatch. It remains crouched for a while, until eventually it stands up, and that's when the hiker ran, not wanting to be seen by the supposed dangerous predator. When it stands up, we can get a good look at it. We can tell it's not very tall, like a typical Sasquatch. Because of this, some guessed it was a person in a costume, which could be so. But it is covered in black fur, and it does have a pretty wide and strong build. But the videographer is persistent that this was all too real. Some experts also stated that the reason the Bigfoot is small is because it's a young Bigfoot. So could this be the answer? Because this footage is causing a massive debate online, I wanted to bring the footage to your attention. So what do you guys think? Is it a hoax, or is it really a young Bigfoot? Now this here is probably some of the craziest trail cam footage I've ever shown. A man named Grant Critchfield placed 2 trail cameras inside of a bat-infested cave. But this cave isn't only infested with bats. Inside lurk many rat snakes, and their goal is to capture some of these bats flying around. Watch as this determined snake stretches its head way out to try to catch these bats mid-flight. Even though the snake fails at first, it never backs down and never gives up. It moves all around the cave, trying to find the best spot. It even gets right up to the camera in this shot here. The footage continues for a while with the snake bobbing its head up and down and stretching its body out, until eventually it captures not 1 but 2 bats. You can see it has one in its mouth here. And then you can see it has another one here as it slithers away. It looks like the snake is eating good tonight. Now this footage is just unsettling to watch. The way the snake elongates its body and its eyes reflect the light, there's just something so scary about it. But this is the kind of eerie stuff that happens out in nature when we're not around. Scary, wild predators lurk everywhere, and they have no rules. And as I say frequently, this is why the known creatures of this world can be just as scary as the unknown creatures. So far, we've looked at unknown creatures and known creatures, but what about extinct creatures found alive? This mysterious footage coming from 2023 captures a so-called pterodactyl, a prehistoric flying dinosaur that used to control the skies above. The bird creature certainly resembles a pterodactyl, with its very long wings, elongated head, and massive size. The crazy thing is, comparing this to a pterodactyl side by side, they look completely identical, making many believe. Some commenters attempted to debunk the footage by saying it's a heron, a large ocean bird that resides in the Pacific Northwest and South Florida. But I've seen herons before and they don't look like this while flying, and they're not as big. So could pterodactyls not actually be extinct? Here is a trail cam capture that may prove Bigfoot exists. It was captured at 12:37 p.m. on September 13th, 2012, deep within the woods of Alberta, Canada. Even though it was captured over a decade ago, not many people have seen it at all. So I took the time to highlight it for you guys. So here's the photo along with what experts say about it. Experts state this is the only photo the huge creature appeared in. After analyzing the photo, we can tell it's definitely not a costume. Also, we can tell it's not photoshopped because we have a good understanding of Photoshop. Even though experts were rather confident in their answers, it didn't stop the skeptics. They tried to say the huge hairy creature is just a really big bear on its hind legs. This is when experts responded that bears only have black claws, but the claws on the being in the photo were white. Also, analyzing its stride, the bend at the knee and the sway of the arm give human-like characteristics, and a human-like gait is supposedly a telltale sign of a Bigfoot. However, since the trail cam was placed at a lower angle, it only captured the lower half of the supposed Bigfoot. So it looks like we'll never get a clear answer as to what it really was. A group of locals were going for a late-night hike in a supposedly unexplored forest. Because the forest is unexplored, it's unknown what kind of creatures live inside. But this night they would find out. As they found themselves deeper and deeper within this forest, they eventually located an unidentified creature hiding within the brush. The strange beast is covered in dark black hair and its eyes are aglow. It doesn't make a noise, it just continues to move around strangely, most likely frightened by the presence of humans. It seems to be a bipedal creature, but it's crouched down on all fours the whole time. The whole encounter seems very real, from the locals' terrified reactions to the creature's extremely realistic look. Online users and cryptid enthusiasts began to brainstorm ideas as to what the creature could be. Theories range from Bigfoots and dogmen to escaped primates and mutated animals. But taking a close look, the creature doesn't really resemble a monkey, as they don't have this much hair on their face. So this leaves us with the other theories, the unknown cryptid creature ones. Which one do you believe? This convincing and clear Bigfoot footage comes from a trail camera set up in the Canadian woods. Like most trail cameras, this one in particular was set up to monitor animals and to capture wildlife. But this was not the animal anyone was expecting. The trail camera's motion and heat sensors were set off by this massive, unknown creature. It completely towers over the vegetation below. Experts are estimating it to be around 9 feet tall, some even say 10 foot tall plus, which shows us it can't be a human in a ghillie suit. Zooming in, the shoulders on this beast are extremely huge and defined. Imagine the strength this thing has. Because of its defined muscle structure, its height, and just the overall realistic look of it, people are convinced it's a real Bigfoot sighting. Bigfoot is one of the most infamous cryptid creatures in all of North America and Canada, and sightings and encounters are reported quite often. But not sightings like this one here with very clear up-close footage. A sighting that's convincing many to believe. This video comes from a man named Grizzly Gaz on YouTube. He lives in northern England. He commonly films camping videos and provides history lessons on the locations he's staying at. In this video, he was staying in a stretch of woods that was haunted by the so-called Lady in White. The story of the Lady in White, according to him, is that she hung herself centuries ago on her farm. And now she haunts and roams the land that was previously her farm. Despite this unsettling story, he still decides to camp there. He pitches his tent and his demeanor seems rather calm the whole night. That is, until it got later and he begins to hear the faint sounds of a woman crying.
Hello?
You can tell he's unnerved as he looks around quickly with his flashlight. These disturbing crying sounds go on sporadically for a while. Something just doesn't seem right about the noises. They sound disembodied, like something almost human but not quite.
Nope. Nope. Hello?
They definitely sound otherworldly. The man eventually gets out of his hammock and searches around for the sources of the cries, but strangely, he never finds anyone or anything at all. This is when he decided to pack up and leave the site, fearing for he and his dog's safety. But as he's making his way out, he hears a different noise than before. This time, ghostly whistles echo through the night, chilling him to the bone. Even though viewers who have watched this video strongly believe something paranormal was at work here, perhaps even the Lady in White herself, Gaz remains neutral on the encounter. He tries to think rationally about it, stating that he doesn't know if it was supernatural or not. In the following video, a couple friends set out on a hike in the woods at night. Their location was never made public, but on their hike, they brought with them a night vision camera to see what kind of cool videos they could take. But as they made it to a particular spot in the woods, they began to feel like they were being watched, and it turns out they were right. The two friends spot something moving in the distance, so they zoom in with their camera. Seen is a downright disturbing sight. A creature with a pale white face and glowing eyes is seen. And it seems to either be wearing a cloak or cape or something, or it's covered in hair. Freezing the footage, its face looks completely terrifying. It almost resembles a clown or something. But as soon as the guys spot it, it quickly moves away, fleeing into the dark forest behind. The hikers were downright disturbed at what they saw, and they vow to never go back into those woods again. And like most of these encounters, they have no clue what it was. Could it have been something paranormal or someone deranged roaming through the woods? No matter what, both are shocking and horrifying answers. Here is a very credible photo of a supposed Bigfoot just released the other day. It comes from the Eagle Cap Mountains across from Joseph, Oregon, and it was released on April 25th, 2024. The caption reads, "Looks to be a massive creature of some sort captured in a very remote area. Take note of the length of those arms." Taking a look at the photo, the unknown creature is clearly huge. It's also jet black, and just like the caption says, it has exceptionally long arms. Zooming in, we can see the legs are unproportionately long as well, making up for over half of the being's height. Because of these strange proportions and just the overall look of the creature, most hypothesize Bigfoot, including the uploaders. Estimating its height by looking at the trees surrounding, the dark creature is estimated at a whopping 10 feet tall. Since its publishing, the photo has caused a massive debate, and is even puzzling scientists and professional debunkers. And the fact that we know exactly where and when it was captured makes it all the more real. Taking a look at a video with not much context. It was posted to TikTok in 2023. Reportedly, a man was going for a walk when he was completely stopped in his tracks by a strange, unidentified creature sitting on the ground. It's unknown where this took place or what happened to the man after the footage. But obviously, he survived the encounter as the footage was uploaded. But as we can see, the creature is small and goblin-like. It has skinny limbs, broad shoulders, and glowing eyes. It's one of the weirdest videos I've ever seen. Because of the mystery surrounding, people began to try to come up with answers. Skeptics guess the creature is CGI, computer-generated imagery. But if it is edited, they did a very good job, as it even has shadows and it just looks super real. Because of the realistic look, many believe it is in fact a real alien or goblin, some sort of cryptid creature. So many of you know that there was a total solar eclipse that just happened in the US. It just happened on April 8th, 2024. And it truly was an amazing spectacle. However, some unexplainable events took place around the world during this eclipse. Let's start off with a strange UFO that passed through the clouds during totality. Just above Van Griff Acura, a car dealership located in Arlington, Texas.
Bruh.
Look, there's something flying through the air. Oh shit. What was that? What was that?
Yo, what the
Aliens! Aliens!
Yo.
Ishmael Arredondo, who owns the dealership, was the one who took this video. He recalls him and the sales team were innocently watching and filming the spectacle, definitely not expecting anything weird like this. Here is a closer-up video from one of the guys on the sales team from a different angle, proving this really did happen.
Back up. This is so cool. What's that?
What is that?
What's that?
He also recalls that as soon as totality started, when the moon covered the sun, that's right when this UFO flew past. He has no clue what it could have been, but states that no airplanes or no aircrafts at all were flying around during this spectacle. They did not hear the sounds of an engine flying overhead or anything at all like that. It was just completely silent. As we know, planes and flying objects of this world are very loud and easy to hear when flying overhead. But as I said, this was silent, proving this was either some sort of unknown creature or it was an advanced aircraft that somehow doesn't make any noise while flying. Considering that this was Ishmael's first post of this nature on his account, it makes it so much more believable. He's just an innocent dealership owner who happened to capture one of the most unexplainable videos of the entire year. Taking a look at yet another horrifying event that took place during this eclipse. This one comes from Dallas, Texas. The caption of the video reads, "What did my husband catch while zoomed in? It's definitely not a bird." Here's the video. As he zooms in closer, focusing on the total eclipse above, something unknown flies right over him. At first glance, it's very quick and we can't really see anything at all. However, when we slow the footage down, this is when we get a good look at the creature. A partially see-through dark-colored bird flies past. Some commenters attempted to debunk this video by stating that it's a bird or a bat. But it seems much longer than a bird or bat, and it looks like it has a tail or something. And the shadowy appearance is making many think otherwise. As the video went viral, people began calling this a dragon, perhaps a dragon that only comes out during a solar eclipse. Others think it's some sort of ghost bird or some other unidentified creature. Once again, this is the TikTok user's only video that has ever been uploaded like this. She doesn't upload any scary content. But anyways, as you can tell, so many weird and unexplainable things happen this day. It really makes you wonder what else happened that wasn't caught on camera. But I actually do have a lot more scary eclipse videos for you guys throughout this video, so stay tuned and watch to the end. This recent paranormal capture has been freaking people out. Very late one night, a security camera posted near a residential street picks up what looks like a shadow person walking by. You can see what looks like the shadow of a dark hooded man suddenly appear. It then walks across the road briskly, disappearing into the brush on the other side. The uploaders and online viewers still have no clue what this was. Some are sticking to scientific answers like a camera glitch, but others think this was a real-life ghost. Perhaps the ghost of a man who died on this street or in the nearby area. But darker shadowed ghosts are often associated with demonic activity, so maybe it's not the ghost of a man who died here, rather an evil entity that aims to terrorize this local town. This first dashcam clip took place as a man drove down a back road in the middle of the day, but the back road wasn't in the complete middle of nowhere this time. It was a pretty popular road with lots of drivers on it, making the sighting even more concerning. He drives down the road for a while until it begins to curve. As he makes his way past this curve, something chilling is spotted by the line of trees on the left side. A jet black creature is seemingly just standing there motionless, leading us to believe that it was trying to blend in with its surroundings. Zooming in and taking a closer look, it seems rather tall, estimated at around 7 feet. Also, we can see what look like 2 horns sticking out from atop its head. Because of these specific characteristics, commenters are convinced it's not a human. However, skeptics believe it was simply just a man standing there. But why would a man dressed from head to toe in a jet black suit just be standing there on the side of the road like that? And why does he have horns? If this is the case and it is a man, he's obviously up to no good. So the debate is whether it's a dangerous man or an unknown cryptid creature. Either way, a deeply chilling dashcam capture. This mysterious dashcam video has been puzzling online viewers, and the little background information surrounding only adds to the mystery. A motorist travels down a heavily trafficked 2-lane highway. It was very late at night, but everything seemed rather normal at first. That is, until the bus and the SUV in front hit their brakes pretty hard and slow down. This is when the red SUV swerves out of the way, revealing something truly disturbing. At first, it's unknown what's causing them to brake, but right after the SUV swerves, what looks like a small person is just standing there in the middle of the road. This is one of the closest calls ever. But looking closer and slowing the footage down, it appears this is not a person standing there. Rather, something trying to look like a person. Its skin is excessively pale and its head is abnormally large. It looks just like an alien. Many believe this is an extraterrestrial, dressed up like a human and trying to blend in with society. Since it's from another planet, maybe it doesn't know that it can't stand in oncoming traffic like this. Skeptics, of course, question if this is staged or not. But how could you possibly stage something like this? I mean, that thing practically got hit by the car, and a person would have to completely risk their life standing in the middle of oncoming traffic like this. It couldn't possibly be staged. Taking a look at probably the most disturbing dashcam footage of all time. This one comes from Japan, specifically on a forested road that leads into the Aokigahara Forest, a supposedly haunted forest located on the northwestern side of Mount Fuji. Allegedly, the road itself is responsible for many unexplainable deaths and suicides, making many avoid it, especially at night. But these two daring friends were driving down this road in the dead of night when they reached a dead end at the forest's edge. This is when they spotted something floating towards them. The bottom half of a ghostly apparition slowly floats towards them, becoming more and more defined as it gets closer. It's clearly a white shadow, revealing only a torso, legs, and feet. Some speculated this could have been the spirit of one of the many infamous deaths here. Some even go as far as to say that it could have been the spirit of someone who was decapitated in a car crash, and that's why it's just a pair of legs. But just imagine being in these guys' position. You're just sitting in your car on a dark forested road late at night when suddenly a ghostly pair of legs begin floating right towards you. It really is like something straight out of a horror movie. On a dark and desolate road in Russia, a group of friends were driving. As they were driving, they spotted a huge creature on the right side of the road. The camera is not the greatest quality, but we can see a big dark creature walking along. Baffled by what they were seeing, they quickly pulled their car over and parked and began pursuing on foot. They quickly find it again, and here we get a better look. The way it walks, the broad shoulders, and the wide body definitely give us signs that it could be a Sasquatch. Even though, as I said, it is poor quality, we can tell it's covered in hair and it has a very big head. Too big to be a human. The drivers are very serious that the video is authentic, and say they were completely caught off guard and surprised at how easy it was to capture this Bigfoot on camera. So what do you guys think? Are they telling the truth? The following video comes from a man on a motorcycle on his way home from work. He was working very late this night, so he had a very creepy drive ahead of him. He recalls that he does this drive a lot, and almost every time he gets a very eerie feeling as the roads are practically deserted. And according to local legend, this road and the roads surrounding are said to be haunted, with very weird things happening on them. And this night proves just that. Check out his footage. As he drives along, a robed woman appears on the side of the road. Freaked out, he sped away quickly, not wanting to get involved. However, this encounter wouldn't end here, as 2 miles down the road, the robed woman would appear again. The man was traveling very fast on his bike. It wouldn't be physically possible for the woman to appear again 2 miles down the road in that short of a time span, which led most to believe that the explanation was paranormal. Viewers speculated that this was the ghost of a woman who roams on this road, and that the ghost is able to shapeshift and teleport, and that's how it got down the road so fast. But others don't know what to make of this encounter. Also, the man who took the video states that his helmet camera records continuously. Every time he drives, he turns it on for safety reasons, making this footage that much more believable. And the man is still freaked out, and now hates driving this particular stretch of road late at night. A man was walking along a shallow coast of water when he came across a really weird and just downright strange creature. But he didn't even know it was a creature at first, as it just looked like a strange rock under a pile of seaweed. He got closer and picked it up, and this is what it looked like. The footage posted on February 29th went super viral, with people having no clue what it could be. And its disturbing look is shocking people. It just looks like a ball of cartilage or something, but it's moving around and closing into a ball. Is the opening its mouth? It just looks like something from another planet, reminding some of some sort of unknown alien creature. But I dug deeper and did some research to try to figure out what this thing could be, and I think I figured it out. It closely resembles a creature called a gumboot kitten. Honestly, a pretty fitting name for this ugly ass thing. But anyways, these animals are reportedly closely related to slugs and snails. And you can often find them in tide pools, just like this one. Most likely this is the answer, but I like the unknown alien theory better, so I might just stick with that one. Uploaded in 2023 but taken in 2018, this short clip hasn't been seen by virtually anyone at all. A man by the name of CSM Outdoors has a trail camera mounted to a tree in the woods. But after retrieving the SD card from the camera and placing it into his laptop, he couldn't make sense of what he was seeing. First, his trail camera was set off by a deer walking by. Second, something unknown flies overhead. It looks like some kind of straight bar that never changes shape. It just slowly flies by. The fact that it never changes shape shows us it wasn't a camera glitch and that it really was there. But what was it? Planes and drones obviously don't look like this. Could it be a UFO? That's what many are thinking, including the trail cam owner himself. This occurred at 1:35 a.m. in the complete middle of the woods. So perhaps some extraterrestrials thought nobody was watching and decided to fly their craft overhead. Considering this was the man's only weird footage that was ever uploaded like this, it seems extremely authentic. Definitely a piece of footage that raises lots of questions. Taking a look at a piece of footage that captures a so-called baby Bigfoot. A man is filming a personal video. The camera is aimed directly towards him, focusing on him. But zoomed in the background, we can see he's not alone. Through the trees behind, a hunched over, hairy creature makes its way past. It attempts to hide and move quickly, but it's easily caught. Looking closer, the creature looks defined and not like a person in costume. Its head is large and it almost looks monkey-like. It's covered from head to toe in thick, brownish hair. This video was originally taken in 2021, but no one has been able to debunk it, including experts. Obviously, skeptics chalked it up to just being a person in a gorilla suit or some sort of costume because of its smaller size, but it honestly does look pretty real. Let me know what you think. On April 16th, 2024, a truly disturbing piece of footage was released. The story goes like this. A woman had been hearing footsteps, rustling noises, and other strange sounds coming from within her ceiling. It lasted for months, never being able to find out what it was. She searched the ceiling many times and did a lot to investigate, but never found anything, and the noises continued. That is until this April afternoon when she heard noises coming from the front of the roof. So she rushed to the source of the noises and saw it. Well, only a little bit of it. An otherworldly looking hand sticks through the crack of the gutter. It has long, sharp claw-like nails, but its hand looks oddly human-like, but also kind of non-human at the same time. It's a dark grayish color. Also, looking closer, us humans can bend our fingers in 3 different places. At the bottom, at the middle, and at the top. But the fingers on the hand in the video only appear to be able to bend at the bottom. That being said, we can rule out a human's hand. But if it's not a human hand, what else could it be? What kind of animal has a hand that looks this weird and big? If it is an animal hiding in a roof, it has to be smaller, so how are its hands this massive? This quick video just raises so many questions that will probably never be answered. And if you guys have any theories for this one, let me know in the comments down below. This potentially ghostly footage was taken just before 3 a.m. The uploader, Taylin Johnson, placed a trail camera in the nearby woods near her home. Her goal to capture interesting wildlife, but instead they captured what could be a ghost floating by. At first the footage shows the tree in front, but then a shadow brushes over the camera. It definitely looks ghostly at first glance. But some think it could just be a moth or something, walking on or flying super close to the lens, creating this otherworldly look. Taylin was very surprised at what she captured and still has no clue what to make of it. And that's why she uploaded it, to get some answers. This unexplainable video happened on April 19th, 2024, so very, very recent. The man who uploaded it says, "I think I just witnessed an alien abduction. Take a look at his footage.
But that's getting awfully close to the moon. Our government is... Why? Bam!
What did it just hit?
Look at it. It's smoke rings. Are you f***ing me? I'm a drunk-ass redneck videoing some shit.
He may just be a drunk redneck, but he really did video some. In all seriousness though, this footage is very unexplainable. This star-like object quickly moves throughout the night sky until it makes it to where the moon is. This is when it blows out some sort of ring of smoke or ring of energy or something. Then the unidentified craft begins to change shape and get much longer. What kind of earthly craft can do this? Obviously, we know what the drunk redneck thinks, but that's what most other people believe on the internet as well. That this was some sort of UFO craft being controlled by extraterrestrials. It just doesn't make any sense. Some tried to say that it was a rocket and that it was separating from itself, and that's what caused the ring of smoke, but you don't see any type of separation in the video. Also making this theory a little bit more hard to believe is that it was traveling horizontal. Rockets travel vertical or diagonal. They don't travel horizontal like this. And I also covered another clip like this in another one of my videos, where somebody captured the exact same thing. So this obviously happened more than once, proving it's real. This recent paranormal capture has been freaking people out. Very late one night, a security camera posted near a residential street picks up what looks like a shadow person walking by. You can see what looks like the shadow of a dark hooded man suddenly appear. It then walks across the road briskly, disappearing into the brush on the other side. The uploaders and online viewers still have no clue what this was. Some are sticking to scientific answers like a camera glitch, but others think this was a real-life ghost. Perhaps the ghost of a man who died on this street or in the nearby area. But darker shadowed ghosts are often associated with demonic activity, so maybe it's not the ghost of a man who died here, rather an evil entity that aims to terrorize this local town. Now this is some of the weirdest and most mysterious footage ever. It comes from the TB4Y podcast. Basically, these guys punch in specific coordinates to Google Earth, and it takes them to an extremely strange location. It's a random desert in California that's extremely secluded. No houses and no nothing for miles on end. It's completely secluded. But when they zoom in, you can see what looks like a portal or something. But as they zoom out and look at the land around it, there are a bunch of tanks that seem to be guarding this so-called portal. Why are there tanks in the middle of a secluded desert with no one around? And more importantly, what the hell is that portal-looking thing? I saw this footage and I was baffled and had no clue what it could be. So if any of you have an answer, let me know because this doesn't make any sense to me. Taking a look at two strange pieces of footage from farms. They both showcase the same strange phenomenon. A bunch of goats forming a perfect rotating circle. Why does this happen? The first piece of footage comes from a local farm in the complete middle of the night. The farmer has no clue why they did this and uploaded the security camera footage to try to get some answers. And it's unknown where the second one took place, but it looks to be on a small farm as well. Because there is no rhyme or reason for the strange circling, some chalked it up to being something paranormal. Some thought maybe the ghosts were possessed by evil spirits or even skinwalkers, and that's why they're behaving creepily like this. Reportedly, according to Navajo culture, skinwalkers are known to take the form of goats, but I'm sure there could be a worldly explanation here. So in my last video, I included a lot of creepy and weird things that happened during the recent solar eclipse, and you guys seem to enjoy it. So here's another similar video, but this didn't happen during an eclipse. It happened when a man was trying to film the moon with his phone. But instead of capturing just one moon, it captured 3.
Oh my god. I cannot believe I'm getting this on video. I ain't about to release this. I'm not trying to have somebody follow me. Bro, what the hell?
3 separate moons side by side. People are puzzled because the footage doesn't appear edited or anything. But obviously, here on Earth, we only have 1 moon, so how could there be 3 in the sky? Maybe this was some sort of reflection that caused his phone's camera to glitch? It doesn't seem so, as the moons were very defined and stable. Once again, just another piece of footage with no explanation. The following trail cam footage will make your skin crawl. Uploaded by the YouTube channel called Trail Camera. The unseen footage appears normal at first. It just shows a small tree and some vegetation in the background. But it's when we look closely that we see why the video is scaring people. A sizable spider creepily and slowly crawls down the tree. You may think the spider isn't that big, but the video was taken from a distance, which gives it a smaller appearance than it really is. I would estimate it's probably at least a few inches long. But anyways, the spider doesn't stop after just climbing down the tree trunk. It decides to climb right back up again. It's crazy to see all of the creepy wild creatures that are caught on these trail cameras. And spiders aren't often seen on these trail cameras because they're too small and aren't usually able to set off the motion and heat sensors. But considering this one did trigger the camera to begin recording, it had to be much larger than we think. Taking a look at a video coming from the Finger Lakes in upstate New York. A man went there for a weekend for a quick and relaxing getaway. He did this quite often and knows the Finger Lakes area quite well. Reportedly, he had been going there for over 7 years, but this trip he would see something that he had never seen before. Within the familiar lake is a strange, never-before-seen phenomenon. The man had no clue what it was, so he took this video and uploaded it to social media on April 29th, 2024. What could cause this? Some say it's just a weird bit of fog, but how is it sloping in and out of the water like this? Because of the otherworldly look, an interesting theory arose. Many believe this is a cloaked UFO hiding within this lake trying to blend in, and the water and fog are maneuvering around it. Because UFOs are said to be from other planets with alien life, maybe they have access to technology that we can't wrap our brains around. Perhaps they can disguise their UFOs and spacecrafts with a cloak technology that can immediately at any time blend in with all of its surroundings, making it completely invisible. Many are very, very convinced that this is exactly what it was, something straight out of a horror movie. This creepy video has been freaking the internet out. Posted by Dustin Frazier only a couple days ago, the video has reeled in an astonishing 13 million views and counting. The man was home alone. His sister and her kids usually stay with him, but they were gone at the time, so Dustin decided to order some DoorDash. Eventually, he heard a slight knock at his door, so he peered out the window. But what he saw deeply disturbed him. This is what was standing there. She almost looks like a zombie or an undead witch. She just stands there motionless, peering back at him. Right after he sees this, he hears intense knocking on his front door. You can tell he's frightened, but as he talks to the camera, a disembodied whisper can be heard slightly, which Dustin said he didn't hear in the moment. The scary voice says, "I'll take you."
The kids had football practice, so they had to go do their own thing. So I ordered DoorDash.
And the knocks continue. He looks out the window again, and the creepy being is still there. Even though the footage is creepy, some point out that the witch could be a prop or something, because it's never seen moving. But how do you explain the strange, intense knocking and the scary, disembodied voice? I don't know. Could this all just be a clever hoax, or is it all too real? The following video was taken by a news reporter riding in a helicopter at night. As they patrolled the sky and got some video footage, they first spot a strange spotlight phenomenon with smoke tethered to the bottom of it. But as they look closer, something even stranger is going on.
What is that? What is that? What is going on? It looks like maybe a missile or something.
It almost looks like ripples in water, but this is the night sky. What the heck is this? The reporter in the video tries to rationalize what they're seeing by asking if it was a missile or something, but no one has ever seen a missile look like this. How could an earthly craft or being create this phenomenon? According to the news reporter and helicopter pilot, this went on for several minutes, leaving them puzzled as to what they witnessed. Is this something extraterrestrial, or is there a possible worldly explanation here? In Zimbabwe, specifically near Lake Kariba, a man named Jason Whitehead would place a trail camera. His hope was to capture a specific wild creature, and he got exactly what he hoped for. In the late afternoon, a hippo came out to graze, and he got an amazing trail camera shot of it. Hippos don't often graze during the day, but they will come out sometimes if it's cloudy. However, it's most common for them to graze at night, and luckily for him, he caught that on camera as well. Now, the hippos may not look too scary here, but let me tell you, they're one of the scariest animals on the planet. They can reach up to 17 feet long and can weigh up to around 10,000 pounds. And despite their hugeness, they can run at speeds of up to 30 miles per hour. That's faster than the fastest human of all time. And hippos are aggressive and very territorial, and often charge if provoked. On top of all of this, their bite strengths are around 1,820 psi. To put that into perspective, alligators with the strongest bite force in the world have a bite force of around 2,125 psi, so hippos are pretty close behind. Considering all of this, they're some of the scariest and most dangerous creatures in the entire world, landing them on today's list. In West Pensacola, Florida, some truly horrifying events would unfold at 7 a.m. on May 18, 2021. The footage comes from a parked car's dash cam from the other side of the road. The footage starts off showing a little girl waiting for her bus before school at around 7 a.m. A white SUV drives past quickly. It may seem innocent at first, but a little over a minute later, the same SUV would appear again. This time, it stops at the end of the road and sits there. Then suddenly the driver leaps out in full sprints towards the lone little girl. The dangerous man attempts to kidnap her, grabbing her and quickly running back to his car. Luckily, he stumbles and drops her and falls to the ground. Feeling like he had already caused too much of a scene, he leaves the girl and sprints back to his car and quickly floors it, speeding back down the road from whence he came. This bone-chilling footage just shows us how cold and heartless people can be. There are some truly dangerous people who lurk among us. And the scariest part about this one is to think what would have happened if the man would have successfully kidnapped the girl. But luckily, not only was it unsuccessful, the dashcam video from the parked car easily caught his license plate, revealing his identity to the West Pensacola, Florida police. They did some detective work and found him and arrested him later that same day. The man was named Jared Paul Stanga. And a disturbing piece of information we didn't know earlier is that according to the police, the man was armed with a knife at the time of the attack. And not surprisingly, Stanga had an extensive criminal history. And according to Chilling Scares on YouTube, it was also reported that only 2 weeks before this attack, the little girl had recalled to her school that a man in a white car stopped and talked to her while she was waiting for her bus. Likely the same white car of her attacker. However, the school didn't do anything with this information, but if they would have, they could have prevented this attack altogether. But ultimately, the girl was completely unharmed, just very shaken up from the encounter. And justice is being served as Stanga was hit with many charges. Charges include attempted kidnapping of a child, aggravated battery, and assault. And he will now spend a very, very long time behind bars in prison. This just shows us, no matter who you are, always watch out and be aware of your surroundings. The following chilling paranormal video was just uploaded. A mother bought a Ring security camera to place inside of her daughter's bedroom. She did this because her daughter had recently been saying some very scary stuff, and it was not normal behavior for her at all. On multiple occasions, the daughter talked to her mom about a man who lives in her closet in her bedroom, and she talked about how scared she was of him. The mom initially brushed it off as some sort of imaginary friend or something, but she couldn't ignore it any longer. One night, the mother slept in her daughter's bedroom to keep her company, until this happened. They both suddenly wake up and look up at something above them. What they saw is unknown, but whatever it was completely paralyzed the daughter with fear. The mother was petrified but was still able to protect her daughter from whatever it was they saw above. The daughter lets out a gut-wrenching scream, showing us how real this event really was. You can even see the daughter trying to cover her eyes in terror. Whatever it was above them, it must have been something truly disturbing. Since there is a lack of information, viewers have to hypothesize what it is they saw. Potentially the man who lives in the closet that the daughter was so scared of. Viewers are convinced that it had to be something paranormal. The following clip comes from a man who owns a storage unit. In the unit, he stored all kinds of antiques, including this very unsettling monkey toy. But according to the owner, the doll is very expensive, and that's why he keeps it around. He's waiting to sell it for a lot of money, but it turns out it might not be worth it. Since he got the doll, weird things began to go on inside of his storage unit. It all started when employees at the unit began to make noise complaints, stating they heard stuff moving around and being thrown around inside. It got so noisy at times that the owners began to accuse the man of living inside of his own storage unit, which is obviously not allowed. So to prove to them that he wasn't, he installed a camera, and instead caught one of the most disturbing pieces of footage ever. The owner and the staff had never seen anything like this and were completely horrified. As you saw, the expensive monkey doll moves all on its own. First it lifts its head and neck, and then it stands all the way up, until suddenly it goes limp. Now the employees know that it was the strange doll all along. It appears the doll is possessed by an evil spirit. How else could it be moving all on its own like that? The man who owns the unit keeps the security camera inside 24/7 now, watching the doll. But since nothing else has happened, and the noises have stopped, maybe this spirit is highly intelligent, and now it senses the camera so it remains dormant, waiting for its opportunity to be unwatched again. As promised, I had more Eclipse videos for you guys, and this one here might be the strangest. A man named Frank Swan and his friends were watching the eclipse, and everything seemed normal, until right after totality, as it was getting lighter again, they spotted something weird in the sky in the distance.
Whoa, what's that?
Whoa!
This is what they're covering
Wait,
up.
what is that?
Take a picture.
drone?
Take a picture. See and seal by it.
It's a drone?
Drones don't light up like that. That's an alien right there. Holy, what the hell is that?
Should be truth, what is it?
I think it's probably a...
Oh, it's gone. It's gone.
You can tell they're shocked as they're trying to rationalize what they're seeing. One of the ladies asked if it was a drone, when someone pointed out drones don't light up like that, and he's correct. What kind of drone is a bright red reflecting light like that? People are in awe at this footage, not having any clue what could have caused this. Obviously, this is some sort of unidentified flying object, but what it is exactly is unknown. No one has yet to come up with a rational answer, and the way it just disappears randomly is what's puzzling people the most. If you guys have any answers of what it could have been, let us know in the comments down below. The following video comes from Reddit user Squeaky Frog Toes. According to her, recently weird things had been going on around her home. What these weird things were exactly was not publicly stated, probably because the following footage gives us all the answers we need. She decided to set up a home security camera in her kitchen. And to her surprise, the first night she set it up, something spine-chilling was captured.
Oh, Jesus!
Jackie? Hi.
The woman enters her kitchen for a late-night snack. She sits down and begins opening up the box of cereal. This is when it happens.
Oh, Jesus! Oh, Jesus!
A disembodied voice says what sounds like hi. It's a woman's voice, but no one is around. She even gets up and inspects the nearby area, and of course, no one was there. She had no clue what could have caused this. Thinking she may have been having some sort of psychotic break and was hearing things, she checked her security camera, and it only confirmed what she heard. She stated in her post on Reddit, "Something said hi from the doorway right behind my right shoulder." She also states that her security camera didn't detect any other movement besides her coming into her kitchen to get a snack at around 1:30 a.m. Looking back at the footage, we can see her dogs are staying out of the kitchen, even though she's eating food. Something very uncharacteristic of her dogs specifically. It seems maybe they could see what was lurking and they were scared of it. It's believed dogs and cats can sometimes see ghosts that we humans can't. It seems that could have been exactly what was happening here. Coming back at you with another weird eclipse phenomenon. I'll let this one here speak for itself.
Oh, I just seen the whole eye.
The man films the sun when suddenly his camera glitches out, revealing a super bright light coming from the sky in the shape of an eye. It only appears for a second, so you have to watch closely. This one is super strange. What are the odds his camera glitches out and it shows up like a glowing eye? Maybe this one is not so scary and more of a positive thing. It could be a sign that God is watching over us from heaven. Definitely an interesting piece of footage. It's really crazy how many weird things happened during this eclipse. And we're still not done with eclipse clips, so stay tuned. The other day I was on my phone just scrolling through Instagram when this video came across my feed. And it intrigued me. Some believe there's a scientific explanation for this one, but let me know what you guys think after you watch it. This strange event happened on February 6th, 2024. A man named Louise states, "I've been canvassing for a while now. I've seen all kinds of crazy wildlife and interesting people, but I've never seen anything like this.
I've seen some really creepy stuff, but nothing like this. There's a palm floating right in the middle of the air. It's not attached to wires or anything like that.
A palm branch floats in the middle of the air. It almost looks like someone is controlling it with telekinesis or something. It's just hovering there, and it's super interesting. You can see there are no strings attached or anything. Louise says he believes the wind was blowing from each direction, and it seems to have caused some sort of wind vortex, halting the palm branch's movement and causing it to levitate in place. So this is most likely the answer here, but it does definitely look like something paranormal is going on here at first glance. On February 9th, 2024, a deeply disturbing piece of footage would be released to the public. A group of locals were reportedly exploring an abandoned property and building. Exploring abandoned properties can be an exhilarating experience. However, it's extremely dangerous and not recommended at all. Because the area is abandoned, you never know what you can find inside. From dangerous squatters hiding out to paranormal entities, it's just a very dangerous task. Yet, people still do it pretty often. And I'm sure these guys here regretted their decision entirely as they rounded the corner of the building and saw this. A disheveled and seemingly possessed little girl is hiding in the corner. She opens and closes her mouth while keeping complete eye contact with the videographer. A scene straight out of a horror movie. After standing there for a few seconds, the explorers flee, leaving the possessed little girl behind. You can tell by their reactions that they were very scared. It's unknown how the girl got there and how she was in the condition that she was, with matted down hair, bulging eyes, and jagged yellow teeth. The men didn't know the answers, and honestly didn't want anything to do with the situation in general, so they decided to escape with their lives rather than exploring any further. Now, if you remember the first clip of the video that I showed this clip that occurred during the eclipse. And that one was freaky enough, right? But what if I told you an entirely different group of people in an entirely different location caught the exact same thing? Well, they did, and here is the footage. Because this was caught on camera from multiple different angles in multiple different locations, we know this really happened. Seeing this black shadow quickly soar through the clouds next to the sun is really puzzling. It seems something much deeper and darker was going on during this eclipse, something we were not made aware of, giving us some of the most shocking footage yet. This very strange video comes from a woman named Jessica in Kennewick, Washington. Her and her kids were playing outside in the backyard in the snow when they looked up and noticed something ominous floating in the sky. A dark ring of smoke hovers closely above. According to Jessica, this unsettling looking ring of smoke lasted for a crazy 15 minutes until it slowly dissipated. How can a ring of smoke possibly form a perfect circle like that and stay there floating for 15 minutes straight? There's wind. How could wind not break it apart? News outlets began to pick up this footage and do stories on it, and tried to come up with answers. One outlet in particular raised a point, stating that the ring could have come from a controlled burn. But this still doesn't answer how it formed a perfect circle like this, and how it's not breaking apart or dissipating. Even with the windy and snowy conditions, it truly makes no sense. And what makes this even more mysterious is 2 more of these smoke rings appeared over her house 2 days later, and the second one faded quicker than the other ones but created more smoke. So it remains unknown what caused this, but one thing's for sure, they definitely look otherworldly. The following mysterious photos were just uploaded to Reddit on February 4th, 2024, and viewers are puzzled. The photos come from Reddit with the caption, "A friend that lives in England found this in their garden. What looks like a very small humanoid creature is seen lying sideways in the grass." However, people quickly chalk this up to being a hoax, stating that the being is nothing but a crazy-looking root or plant of some sort. But take a look at the second picture. Now we really get a good look. From the front angle, we can see it has an elongated skull with eyes and a nose, and even a mouth. Looking even further, we can see the being has, well, let's just say a chest. And it also seems to have 2 long, scrawny arms and 4 legs or 3 legs and a tail or something. Online viewers began to quickly speculate that this was the corpse of an alien. I mean, how could a root or plant possibly have a face and body like this? However, this is still an ongoing debate and investigation considering the photos were just released the other day, so it hasn't been confirmed real or fake yet. And for some reason, the original posters on Reddit completely deactivated and deleted their account, causing much more mystery. I'll definitely follow up on this clip in the near future when more information is released. Taking a look at a quick trail camera clip that showcases more crazy wildlife. Before I show this footage, let's play a game. Take a guess what kind of animal is gonna pop out. From within the small cave, a bat emerges and flies by. It leaves and comes back and repeats the process a few times. And it almost keeps flying towards and getting closer to the trail camera. Maybe it sensed it or something. Even though bats can be scary looking, they're generally not harmful or dangerous to humans. But if we're talking about vampire bats, then that's a different story. Vampire bats, as you may know, are real-life vampires. Though humans' blood is not often their first choice of meal, but if they need to, they will. They usually feast upon the blood of livestock, like pigs and cows and such. And I actually remember one time I was exploring an abandoned building years back, which I don't recommend doing, but I did. But there were just bats flying around everywhere overhead. Every hallway you would walk into, a bat would fly right by, and there were seemingly bats everywhere. And multiple of them would fly by super quick at once and I would have to dodge them. And they would even brush up against me sometimes and it was just really creepy. It definitely was a scary experience, but that makes it all the more fun. But anyways, enough about my personal encounters. I just thought this was very interesting footage, something you rarely ever see caught on a trail camera. Besides the ones getting eaten by a snake earlier in the video, that is. The following video was taken on April 12th. A woman and her dog were driving around when they began to notice something concerning happening on the side of the road. It looked like a snake was attacking something, and she was right. A pretty big snake was coiled around a squirrel, attempting to attack it. And at first you may think that the snake is gonna win this, but not so fast.
Great, it got away.
Suddenly, in the blink of an eye, another squirrel comes to save the day. It sees its friend about to get consumed by a snake, and it springs into action. It comes over and jumps on the back of the snake, catching it completely off guard. The snake releases, and both of the squirrels run away, living to see another day. This is a very scary piece of footage and a very close call, but it is also very wholesome. Seeing the squirrels win this battle is satisfying to say the least. But this is what snakes do all the time. And these are the types of scary things that happen in the wild every single day. We just usually don't get to see it. But this girl and her dog got a front row seat, and practically gave us all front row seats as well, with her very up close footage. Now this might be some of the strangest footage of the entire video. A man spotted a few sharp-tailed grouse in an open field, so he began filming them, and they started to act downright weird. They begin stomping their legs extremely fast. They spread their wings out and make slight chirping sounds. Despite how weird and unnatural this looks, it's actually completely natural. This is their mating dance. This happened on April 14th, 2024, so early spring, it must be mating season for them. But this is just so fascinating to see. Many animals do very strange things. Each animal is very unique and has its very own unique traits and survival tactics. But imagine you're just out in the woods one day and all of a sudden a grouse runs by you like this. I would do the exact same thing as this guy and pull my phone out and record it. On January 18th, 2024, a very mysterious video would surface on social media. A man was just driving along a 2-lane highway this evening, listening to music and minding his own business. This is when he quickly looked over to his right and noticed something weird going on in the sky above.
What the f is that? What the f is that?
You can tell he's shocked as what appear to be a couple of UFOs hover above the trees. It definitely looks strange. Just yellowish, bright lights floating, not moving forward or backward. And as he zooms in, we get a better look at what he's seeing. All that's there are just 3 interconnected lights. And then another one of those lights all alone below. What could this be? Is there a worldly explanation? Most speculate this was a UFO, but others think it could be a plane or helicopter or something flying. And since we don't know the answers, the only thing we can do is guess. Taken on March 16th, 2024, this footage differs from the rest. Take a look as a kitten sits atop the dashboard in the car, but nearby outside lurks a hawk who wants the kitten as its next meal. Let's just say I'm glad the windshield held up. That must be some pretty clear glass, as the hawk thinks he's getting an easy meal but is stopped in its tracks. The see-through barrier makes for a funny but also scary piece of footage. The hawk doesn't give up and keeps trying to figure out a way in, but obviously it can't get through the glass. That poor kitten was terrified. But hey, better terrified and safe than in the claws of a dangerous hawk. If you don't know, hawks eat all kinds of small animals that roam around the ground. They swoop down and snag prey with their long, sharp talons. They truly are apex predators and just overall scary animals. But anyways, definitely one of the most interesting pieces of footage of the entire video. In this video, a man is driving down a rural one-way road surrounded by fields. Take a look what happens next. After he rounds the corner, he comes across a woman. The woman is in a white dress with what we can only guess as bloodstains on it. Because the woman looks like she's in distress, he stops the car and asks if she needs help. But she responded with a horrifying scream. This is when the man drove off quickly as he felt he was in danger. Who knows what this woman was possibly doing out there? Could this have been an attempt of a potential robbery? Maybe robbers were hiding and waiting for him to stop and try to help the woman. Or was this woman possibly in distress? Or was she a crazy person who had just committed a crime? The list of potential theories goes on, puzzling us even more. Definitely a very mysterious encounter. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Alright, I think that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did enjoy, go ahead and smash the like buttons, mom. Let's aim for 2,000 likes for another one of these scary trail camera videos. And if you want to get to know me more, you want to see more of my spooky content, you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram, MaximalFear, or you can go ahead and follow me on TikTok, MaximumFearYT. And be sure to subscribe to the channel because only 14% of you guys who watch my videos are subscribed. And be sure to hit that bell as well so you don't miss when I upload. Also, feel free to check out my special Maximum Fear merchandise and coffee mugs. They're in the description down below. Also, feel free to check out my brand new second channel, More Maximum Fear. More content coming soon. Alright, I hope your fear was maximized. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.